Let me tell you how I learned the true meaning of private property and why you should never, ever underestimate a farmer with a long memory, a stubborn streak, and 35,000-pound bulls with nowhere to go. I'll never forget the first moment I saw them 20, maybe more, of my so-called neighbors scattered across my field like they were royalty on holiday, picnic blankets flapping in the wind, champagne popping Bluetooth speakers yapping out pop hits like they were the soundtrack to a Hallmark movie. Right at the center of the chaos was Karen. The Karen. You know the type. Platinum hair, skin like bronzed marble, smile sharp enough to slice cheese. She gave me a little queenly wave and hollered, "It's community day, farmer, don't mind us." Oh, I minded. You better believe I minded. Because that so-called community meadow was my family's land, 40 acres of blood, sweat, and sunburn stretching as far as you could see. They hadn't even bothered to knock. Just waltzed in, cut my lock, and started their own little country club. I stood there, fists tight at my side, watching some guy in salmon shorts chuck a beer can right into my feed trough while my bulls, 35 of them, shifted and huffed behind the fence. If you've never seen a herd of full-grown bulls get restless, just imagine the ground itself tensing up. They wanted a taste of country life. All right. They were about to get the whole buffet. Before I go any further, let me ask, ever had a Karen set foot on your land or in your life? You ever see someone just trample over a line and pretend it's their birthright? I want to hear about it. Drop it in the comments because trust me, this story's for you. Here's the thing about me. I'm not what you'd call patient by nature. The farm beat a little patience into me. Cold mornings, broken fences, animals that see your plans and laugh in your face, but patience ain't tolerance. There's a line, and if you cross it, you best be ready for what's on the other side. My name's Cole. I'm 52, a widower, the last patent work in the 40 acres my daddy cleared with a bulldozer and sheer mule-headed grit. The farmhouse is old and squat tin roof that sings in a thunderstorm. The barn's even older, a black skeleton of wood and rust filled with the baked-in smell of hay and cattle. Behind it, 2 pastures east and south, shaded by big old bur oaks. That's where my pride lives. 35 bulls, Angus Charolais crosses built like semi-trucks. Most days, they're just overgrown dogs, slow and proud. But bulls have boundaries just like men do. You cross them, you pay. On the other side of my north fence, there's Willowbrook Estates, a kingdom of matching yellow houses, perfect lawns, SUVs lined up like parade floats, and a homeowners association with a rule for every color tree and mailbox. My farm has been here since before they poured their first foundation, but the day they laid asphalt up to my property line, I felt the air shift. Some folks waved, some ignored me, but Karen looked at my barn like it was a stain. First time she introduced herself, it was just Karen. HOA president, like she was running for mayor. If you join the HOA, we could help you modernize this rustic aesthetic, she told me, her voice sliding across the fence. I told her I liked my aesthetic just fine, but she never let it drop. Complaints about my barn lights during calving noise reports when I started my tractor before sunrise, a note about how my old Ford was an eyesore. I tossed every message in the trash and went on living. She held nature walks for the neighborhood kids and left my south gate open, almost let the bulls out. After that, I replaced every latch with a chain you could anchor a boat to, put up signs, private property, no trespassing, livestock grazing. Karen said they were unwelcoming. I said that's the point. Property lines aren't feelings or community vibes, they're lines. And when you cross them, you earn the consequences. My father always said, ask first, step second. Saves trouble and broken bones. A week before the picnic, I started hearing about it. My neighbor, let's call him Tim, sent me screenshots from their HOA Facebook group. Community Meadow Sunday scenic views by the barn arranged with Who Not With Me. That Friday, I did what I always do, walked the fence line. Checked every staple and gate. The sky was a clear blue bowl, bulls chewing and flicking their tails, not a care in the world. Folks in the city say bulls are unpredictable, but they're not. They know their boundaries. You break them with noise and nonsense, they remind you they weigh 1.5 tons. Saturday, I stopped in town for supplies. The girl at Grady's feed store winked. You got cameras, Cole? I nodded. Good. People behave when they know they're being watched. Or they don't. She wasn't wrong. Driving home, I saw Karen at the Willowbrook Clubhouse organizing tables and banners. Community Meadow Picnic, it said. Meadow. That word. It's a field when you sweat for it, a meadow when you want to use it for free. That night I sat at the table and laid out my options like I was picking tools. Option 1, call the sheriff. He's a friend would have handled it. But it would just make him bolder next week. Option 2, sue, trespass, nuisance, all that. Lawyers eat slow. Karen would just turn it into performance art for the HOA. Option 3, teach, not with fists or fury, with gravity. With the simple lesson that this land is not a stage for their Instagram party, I slept fitful knowing trouble was brewing. At sunrise, I called Miguel, my right-hand man, hands like tree bark, not much for words. Move the boys to the east pasture, I said. He understood. By mid-morning, the bulls were lined up by the fence, curious, watching the horizon. I checked my gates, left the main one just loose enough a lesson with a safety valve. Set up 2 cameras, one in the old oak, one in the hay shed. If this went to court, I'd have the whole movie. By 10, the pop music started, voices echoing from the cul-de-sac. Karen's crowd brought a bubble machine and a DJ. I ain't making this up. When the first car pulled up, I felt calm, not angry, just steady, like when you dig a post hole in the right spot and you know the fence will hold. At 10:42, Karen herself swept in sundress, sun hat, clipboard, megaphone, because of course. "Welcome to our community meadow," she shouted. People clapped. Kids ran. Cameras clicked. My bulls lifted their heads as one. They came through this gap they'd made in my fence weeks back, pushed the mesh aside. I watched, silent, filing away every violation. The bulls started to huff, pawing dirt. Karen tipped her hat at me. "Try and stop me," her look said. But I wasn't stopping her. I was letting her stop herself. By noon, the heat was a hammer. I watched them grill, laugh, turn my pasture into a private club. SUVs lined up by the fence, kids waving ribbons, Taylor Swift blasting. Karen in the middle, megaphone raised, "Welcome to Willowbrook's first annual community meadow picnic." I nearly choked on my coffee. Inclusive, she called it. I walked the long way round through the south gate. "Afternoon, folks," I said, calm. "Mind telling me what you're doing on my pasture?" Karen gave me that smile too sweet to trust. "Oh, Cole, we're just enjoying the sunshine. Community Spirit Day. Didn't you get the notice? You mean the one on Facebook about my land?" She sipped her drink unbothered. "Well, technically, this area borders Willowbrook property. It's all open space, right? We thought you wouldn't mind." "It's fenced," I said, "with a padlock that you cut." A few people paused. Others just laughed. "Come on, buddy," some guy muttered. "Just a picnic on private land." "That's called trespassing," I said. Karen rolled her eyes. "Oh, please, no one's getting hurt. We're promoting the rural charm your property brings to the neighborhood. You're promoting a lawsuit if you don't pack it up and leave." That made her laugh for real. "Cole, honestly, you sound ridiculous. It's just grass. You should be thanking us for giving you visibility. Most people would kill for this kind of engagement. Visibility. Like I was some kind of sideshow." Then one of the kids ran through the shallow creek, splashing mud right up to the bull's fence. The herd lifted their heads, snorting tails, flicking. Bulls don't like chaos, and they sure don't like sudden movement. "Karen," I said, "you're upsetting my animals. You need to go." "Oh, they're fine." "Look at 'em. Harmless, really. Besides, it's fenced, right?" "For now," I said. I turned to walk back to the porch, phone in hand, recording everything. Every angle of that circus, all of it. When Miguel stopped by later, I showed him the footage. He just shook his head, grinning. "They think they can do that. They just did. What are you going to do?" "I'm going to let them hang themselves with their own rope." That night, I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Karen's glass of rosé, the kids climbing my fence, my line. By morning, I had my plan. No shouting, no sheriff, not yet. I'd let nature handle what arrogance started. I left every lock tight, but won the north gate just wide enough for a few curious bulls. Filled the troughs right by the picnic spot. If they wanted authentic, they'd get it. Later, Karen's post went up, collage of picnic photos, kids on my tractor. "Thanks to Farmer Cole for letting us use his land." That word again. The comments. "Perfect spot, Karen. Make it annual, love having a farmer next door." I wasn't chill. I was patient. The next time they came, they wouldn't find an empty field. They'd meet the real Willowbrook Welcome Committee, 35 bulls, no patience left for uninvited guests. Saturday came again, hotter than the hinges of hell. This time they brought a food truck, more people, more banners. Karen stepped out of her Mercedes, last voice slicing the air. "Good morning, neighbors, isn't this perfect?" I just smiled the kind of smile you give when you know you're about to teach a lesson someone will never forget. At exactly 11:58, I walked down to the north gate, the one I'd left ready. Karen spotted me. "Oh, look who's here. Farmer Cole, come join us." "Thanks, but I'll stay right here." "Oh, don't be shy. You're part of the community, too." "You sure about that?" I walked up to the gate, flipped the latch, and stepped back. The metal creaked, a promise about to be kept. Karen frowned. "What are you doing? Just feeding my bulls?" I called out loud enough for every phone and camera. They get territorial when strangers trespass. The crowd quieted as the bulls lifted their heads, nostrils flaring. Karen tried to laugh it off. "Oh, stop trying to scare us, Cole. They're behind the fence." I smiled. "Not anymore." I gave a low whistle. 35 bulls turned toward me. The ground shivered as they started forward, slow at first, then faster, dust swirling around their hooves. "Run," someone yelled. Chaos erupted. People scrambling, food flying, Karen's megaphone forgotten in the grass. The bulls barreled through the field, snorting, stopping just short of the scattering crowd, sending a message older than language: "You don't belong here." I strolled over, calm as you please, and unlatched the gate. "Easy, boys. Show's over." The herd slowed, breathing, hard eyes glinting. Karen stumbled by me, wild-eyed and covered in mud. "You could have killed us." "You said it was your community meadow. Remember, my bulls were just mingling with the neighbors." The field was wrecked. Food, confetti, glass everywhere. The only sound left was the bulls huffing and the quiet rustle of the grass. A week later, the sheriff paid a visit. Cole got a call from Willowbrook. Said you tried to murder them with livestock. He couldn't keep a straight face. "You see the footage?" He grinned. "Yeah. Looks like you just let nature take its course. No crime in that." Word spread. The video went viral. Bulls of Justice, they called it. Karen's kingdom was done. She resigned, didn't even stick around to fight the fines. HOA sent me a letter. "We apologize for the misunderstanding." I framed it. My lawyer filed for damages. HOA paid. I used the money to build a new fence and put up a new sign: "Private property. No trespassing. Bulls still live here." And you know what? People started waving again. Friendly. The new HOA president even stopped by with cookies and a handshake. "Thank you for setting boundaries," literally. Willowbrook finally learned what community meant. The county used my footage for a safety seminar, Respect the Fence lessons from Willowbrook. I laughed so hard I nearly fell out of my chair. Look, I'm not saying I hated Karen. I pitied her. Folks like that don't understand peace. They're too busy trying to own it. My late wife used to say fences don't divide good people. They protect good neighbors from bad ones. She was right. So here's my moral, my little realization. Boundaries aren't about keeping people out. They're about teaching people respect. You plant respect with boundaries, water it with patience, harvest it with dignity. Cross that line, you reap what you sow. As for Karen, rumor has it she tried to start another HOA 2 towns over. Lasted 3 weeks. The grass she trampled is growing back greener than ever. The bulls are grazing the world's at peace. I still walk the fence line just like always. Now I do it with a smile. So tell me, where's the line for you? What's the fence you've had to defend? When does standing up for yourself become revenge, and when is it just setting things right? Drop your thoughts and stories in the comments. Let's talk justice, boundaries, and a little bit of karma, because around here, justice doesn't knock. It kicks down the gate with 35 bulls right behind it.